Bizarre Brain Comics. Hello, my comic book friends, and welcome to Bizarre Brain Comics. I am Gary, your host. And this is where I like to take a look at some older comics, talk a little bit about the characters and creators, and examine the stories and the art. This time, I want to take a look at this issue of Dr. Solar, Man of the Atom, from Gold Key Comics in 1969. Of course, Dr. Solar was after Western Publishing split with Dell Comics and split off as Gold Key Comics. Dr. Solar was the first new original character that they created, because at the time mostly what they had then was the licensed material. They left with all the licensed material, Disney and Warner Brothers, etc. So, superheroes were becoming popular, so they created their own new superhero, Dr. Solar, Man of the Atom, which I really like. And decades later, in the 90s, Valiant Comics picked up a whole bunch of the Gold Key characters and just ruined them, as far as I'm concerned. So, as I said, this is 1969, 15-cent cover price. And they're, of course, so well known for their fully painted covers for the adventure type series. And I would venture a guess that this is probably a George Wilson painted cover. Looks spiffy. Even though this is cover dated January 1969, it would have been probably released in the latter part of 1968. And here we see our title this time: Atomic Escape from the Lost Dimension. Now, apparently, this issue was continued from the previous issue. So that's very unusual for these Gold Key titles to have multiple issues like that for a storyline, with just a few exceptions, such as when they were doing Tarzan adaptations of the Tarzan novels and the like. And another unusual thing about this is the first and only thing that I can think of that I've ever seen from Gold Key drawn by Ernie Colon. Of course, Ernie Colon is best known for his doing Casper and Richie Rich type stuff at Harvey Comics, which he did for many years. And going over here to Gold Key, he may well have done some of those humor titles as well, but his style is more dynamic than what and storytelling is a bit more visually dynamic than what we're used to seeing from these from the Gold Key stuff. Most of this run had been done by Frank Boll, or maybe it's supposed to be pronounced Bolle. I'm not sure. He did this stuff for many years, and this is done on a quarterly. That's why it's only got 26 issues for about 8 years publication. Was it quarterly or bi-monthly? I've forgotten, or a combination of the two. Probably that. And so we'll take a look, because this is right in the middle of our adventure story. But it starts off with this splash page, and you can just see right here how more visually interesting it is than what we would usually see from this stuff. It says, when dimensions collide. Now, we start off our story with bringing us up to speed, because there had been an experiment discovered a means of transportation, and to another dimension or an alternate universe. And Dr. Solar and the young boy genius Hamilton is teleported to this alternate universe where there are duplicates of themselves, and here in a duplicate Atom Valley. Except these people are bad. It's like the mirror dimension in Star Trek. Except Dr. Solar's main Man of the Atom's main villain, primary villain, is Neural, and he is still a villain in this universe as well. And of course, Neural has been his primary villain since pretty much the beginning. But he had gone through changes when he was defeated. At one point he had a robot which he called a King Cybernoid, and upon one of his defeats, he had his mind transferred directly into that robot. So now he is. But that seems to have been the case here too. And another out of place thing is that here, the Dr. Solar in this universe looks just like the Dr. Solar of the main universe, including the white hair and the dark glasses. But that is counter to, before his accident that turned him into the Man of the Atom, Dr. Solar had dark hair, and he wore these special dark glasses to hide his glowing eyes and stuff. So anyway, I find that from this alternate universe, they're going to send young Hamilton pretending to be the good Hamilton, the good guy, and send him back to the main universe, because they have the teleporter thing too. That's what linked them together when they were testing them at the same time. And so the bad Hamilton is transporting to the main universe and pretending to be the good Hamilton, and he tells him a cock and bull story, and that Dr. Solar needs to be reminded of how because he's got like a partial amnesia. His powers are kind of wonky, which they are. That's one of the problems Dr. Solar learned, was that in this parallel universe, his powers don't work quite right. And he said they want to find out, the plan is to find out how Dr. Solar acquired his powers, the accident that caused his powers, and then recreate that accident in their universe for Neural. So Hamilton says he's going to go to his room, but the girl Gail, she spots him going into the wrong one and says, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm just tired, mixed up." But he goes in, because Neural if he gets the powers, he's going to come back to this universe and take it over. And so he's sabotaging everything. Puts a little bomb among their high-tech weapons for the guards, and the laser, sabotages the laser guns, etc. And stuff that is there to protect Atom Valley. And then he's telling the story how the alternate universe, how different it is, which it's not, but it's making stuff up, and how they were attacked by aliens, and the Man of the Atom zip, and how his powers malfunctioned, which it did. And that's all this is showing his false story. And then but Dr. Solar had previously sent a note back saying to Dr. Clarkson, the boss, that if they were to in this situation to send back a false report on how he got his powers, which he did. But then at the last second, when Hamilton is going to zap back, Dr. Clarkson jumps into the cabinet with him, and they both go back. Then he sees that it was all a lie, turns the stuff over, and then Neuro, that's the end of the first part, then has this backup feature, which is usually put in the center. This is done by Win Mortimer, and this is just talking about invasive, the hazard of invasive species and stuff, such as like the rabbits in Australia. And Dr. Clarkson was put in this machine. It's kind of a torture, but it forces him to tell the truth, and he tells how they had faked that report and stuff. It takes him out, and it forces him to tell the actual circumstances. So Dr. Solar and the real Hamilton are sneaking around the place. They said he's got a bit of an idea, but he needs help from this world's Gale, who is not entirely bad. And she thinks he is their Dr. Solar, and has her distract a guard while he attacks and takes out he and Hamilton take out the guards, and then they sneak into the lab. And Dr. Solar said, now what am I going to do? Because if I try, and then we see things in his mind's eye, what might happen if he tries something and his powers malfunction. So he just walks in as himself and punches the neural robot, which quickly whacks him a good one. But that puts him in close proximity. He feigns unconsciousness and stuff. Then, while Neuro is distracted and gone elsewhere, they free Dr. Clarkson, and then Dr. Solar transforms into the Man of the Atom and enters the reactor where they're setting up duplication of the accident that gave Man of the Atom his powers, and he goes right into the reactor with Neuro. And they are wrestling around fighting, but the reactor here is sapping Solar's strength when it should be, in his own universe, it would be giving him strength. But he has radioactive pills in his little belt, which he quickly takes since they're from his home universe. They quickly restore his powers, and he lays the neural robot low, for distracting him so that he has stayed in the reactor too long, and instead of getting Man of the Atom powers, it just basically destroys the robot body. And he leaves the reactor, gets the bad Hamilton, has that universe's Dr. Solar give him a good paddling, leaves him and Gale, and they transport back to their home universe. Ta-da! And the story is done. And they have always had so many of these things, basically filler pages. Listen to telling a story about the ankylosaur. Little scientific and historical tidbits that they would put in for as filler material. So that is what I had to share with you this time. I really enjoyed it. It was good to see some early Ernie Cologne artwork that, aside from the Harvey stuff, before he started working for Marvel and DC. And yeah, it was. Oh yeah, I did forget to mention that apparently this was written by Dick Wood, which is an unfortunate name, and he seemed to have done a good job of writing it. Ernie Cologne did a bang up job visually telling the story. I wish that I had the issue before this, but I do not. But tell me, have you ever read any Dr. Solar, Man of the Atom? Or is this your first experience with this character? Whatever the case may be, let me know in the comments down below. Okay? Like, share, subscribe, leave your comments down below. And remember, comics are art.